Hi and welcome to this lesson. In this lesson, we are going to talk about intersection types. So as this playlist, this tutorial series progresses, we are going to progress with more and more complicated types. And we are going to dive deeper and deeper into TypeScript. Okay, intersection types. An intersection type basically combines two or more types together. Remember the JavaScript AND operator? It is basically like that, but for types. If you don't remember, it was like this. So a double ampersand was the JavaScript AND operator. It does the same thing, but for types. Let's take a look at an example. So let's say I have a type of product, and in here I have a name property that I want this property to have a type of string. Now, what I could do is I could just zoom out a little bit so we can see more of our code here. And then I'm going to create another type. This is going to be type course, whatever. The name doesn't really matter. And I'm going to give it a price. This is a simple example. I just want to convey this. Now, what I could do is I could I could combine these two types or intersect these two types in another type, or I could intersect them directly when I type annotate my variable. Let's first go ahead and intersect them within the variable declaration first. So why would I want to do that in the first place? Now we can see I have this name string, and for some reason you have some properties that relate to one type in this type, and then you have another batch of properties that are specified in another type. So these two types are completely different. For example, you want to have everything that relates to string in this type and everything that relates to numbers, like the feature, like the price, the duration, discount, and all of that into this type. Or maybe you categorize it based on a different criteria. Whatever the reason is, you have two types. And the issue is that you want to use both of these types to type annotate one single or one object or variable or whatever that is. How can you do that? That's where intersection types come into the picture. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say let course. I'm going to leave that for now. Now the course is going to have a name that is going to be TS. I'm just going to say TS. It's going to have a price, let's say 10. Now here I'm going to write the name of the first type, that is product, and then the name of the second type. So far everything is cool. And then I'm going to add an ampersand in the middle. Now taking a look at that, I can see that it's a little bit too zoomed out. So let's just zoom in. Cool. So this is the first intersection type of this tutorial series. Then the intersection type is this ampersand. This is the intersection type, and it is intersecting this type with this type. So all the properties from the type product are being combined together with all the properties from the type course to create this object. Now, if this syntax looks weird to you for some reason, there is actually another way of doing this. Now, the other way of going ahead and achieving the same thing would be like extracting this type into another type. And I'm going to give you 5 seconds to think about how you can extract a type, because we have talked about that before. All right, so have you come up with do you have an idea? I'm sure you have that. For those of you who couldn't figure out a way of how to extract this, we can use another type alias, because the task of a type alias is to extract types. So what should be the name of this type? It should be something really, really broad to include both types, right? So I could say so I have a product, I have a course. What can I write here? If I say digital product, that could work. I could say finished product, just to get it over with. And now in here, basically, now the idea behind the type is to extract the type. What it means is I could just as easily as cut this, put it here, and get rid of the semicolon. Now, there is no direct connection between this finished product type and this course product. So we need to copy the name, the same thing, put it right here. And now we have extracted this type. This finished product includes the intersection of product and course. Now, it is not just it is not limited to just two types. You can have like multiple types here. And we are going to talk about more advanced ways of doing this as well. Now, there is one thing that you need to keep in mind. The final object that you use, that you create based on these types, it has to include all the variables. For example, if I create a course2 object, and if I type annotate it with that intersection type, and if I just, for some reason, I just want it to be JavaScript. I just want it to have a property of name, not a property of price. There is going to be an error because it says type string, name string is not assignable to type finished product. Why? Because the property price is missing. In which type? Where is it missing? It is missing in this type. So what is the issue here? The issue is that it is required in the type of course. So it gives you a very detailed step-by-step error. Typescript is really, really good when it comes to these kind of errors. It gives you all the information you need to basically debug this error, to basically go ahead and remove this error and solve this issue. So you need to go to the type course, and you can see here it says price, and then you can see that you have intersected this. Therefore, the property price is required, maybe like 15. And with this, our lecture comes to an end. See you in the next one.